Let's begin. Let's start with this resistor. Tin up one pad. That's our resistor. That's our capacitor. One leg down, and then we can do the other one. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, that'll do. Let's touch up the side. Beautiful. Alrighty. Now I reckon let's get that MCU in place. Now we want to double check which way is our up pin, our one pin, sorry. So I'll just have a quick look at the, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the top left there, and I can see the line in the thing. I just want to double check. Yes, it is. So one is here. So let's gob a little bit of solder onto that pin header. And what I like to do is just get one pin with some solder on it. Let's just have a look at our chip here as well. So you can see on this guy, pin 1 is up in the, I don't know if that's focusing, no it's not focusing, there you go. Pin 1 is up in the top left up here, so pop it down like so. Should be able to just pick it up, place it down, line that up as close as possible. Make sure we have an exceptionally clean tip, as is always the way. And then if we hold it in place with our tweezers, pressing it down, melting that pin, and now that's completely out of line, so let's do it again. And that. Whoops. Almost had it. Oh, this guy just does not want to go in place. There we go. That looks spot on. So now, let me just tack in another pin on the other side here. Alrighty, and now if we put a little glob over the thing there, we can just rake across. Until all our pins are soldered. We've got a bit too much there, but that's fine. We can clean that up with flux later. With solder wick later. Let's just rake it across. It's also one of the reasons I love using a chisel tip like this, because it's got a kind of a little well in the middle of the in the thing that just holds a nice ball of solder. As long as you have adequate flux, you will make a good solder joint. Alright, now this one's going to be a bit tricky. Let's pick up some solder from over there. These ones I may need to solder individually. Probably should have put that capacitor in. Yeah, that capacitor's come off. And I've actually lost it. Oh, it's standing up. That'll do it. Okay, let's take that capacitor off for now, and we'll do that one afterwards. Okay, let's grab a little bit of very fine wick. This is my 1.5mm wick. Let's pick up the excess here. I'll just touch up each of these pins individually. Do with a touch more solder there though. Okay, I think we're good. Alright, let's put this capacitor back on. Oh, it's melted to my board. There we go. Oh, it's just not cooperating. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. All right. That is in place. Now, just before we proceed, I'm going to clean off a lot of that flux. There is much too much there, and I just do not like the look of it. Alrighty. Good. Now, look at doing these guys. This is going to be tricky because they are all very close to each other, but that's the grave I've dug for myself. think I lost one underneath the board. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I lost one entirely. Oh, there it is. Alrighty. These are our 5 resistors. They are 4K3s, because I don't have 4K7s, which is fine. Alright, let's start a little bit more flux over this portion of the board. Okay. And let's tin up those pads a touch. Okay. Let's just do one each. Alright, so we should be able to get these. Oops. A lot of solder in my line there. There we go. Clean tip. That's what I always say. 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Now let's just finish up the other side of each of those. Oops. Okay, lost one. That's okay. Alright, so the others are in good shape. Let's get this guy back on there. Okay. I believe that is good. Okay, let's just use the tip of the pliers, the tweezers, sorry, and try and double check that those are all in good health. They are. Perfect. Alright. Let's move on to the last components, which are these transistors. Alrighty. Alright. Let's do one at a time this time instead of trying all at the same. Ones. Now this is going to be tricky because I need the board the other way around, so let's actually move that off. Let's unstick the board for a moment and rotate it around. Still see everything? Yes, good. Okay. So let's actually go left to right, shall we? Perfect. Solder on there. And a bit of solder on that pad. Alrighty. Next one. Now if you're unaware here, key is flux. Flux is doing everything for me at the moment. It's actually the one performing the hard work. It's what's allowing everything to adhere to everything else. If I can get this bloody component to flip over appropriately, I'd be happier. Oh my god, it doesn't want to stick. Okay, let's try this one. Cannot get that transistor to sit in the right angle. Okay. And that one. Beautiful. Alright. There we go. Okay. Let's turn that next little pad there. Oh, that went flying. Wow, I'm actually surprised I saw that. Okay, try again. All right. Oh, it looks okay. It looks good too. Right, I'm going to have to clean up all this flux before I go, after I'm done, and just double check these lines because I really should have a microscope, but I don't, so I can't get close enough to the board. They look fine. Okay. So that one's already got some solder on it from when I started up there. So we're doing this one backwards, which could be my downfall because it already has components to the left of it. Ooh. Tweezers are in the way there. Hit that resistor that time. Alrighty. Alright. We are done. Alright, let's give that a very good cleaning with some isopropyl alcohol. So I've just got one of my little makeup pads here. I'm just going to absolutely douse in alcohol. To the point where the sticky doesn't stick anymore. Alright, look at that. Let's examine those connections. So, they actually look pretty damn good. I am quite pleased with that. The Q1 on the bottom is a little bit askew. But all of the resistors and R4 looks like it could do with a quick touch-up. But yeah, all the resistors look like they're joined. That MCU looks like it's down nicely, not too much solder, although it looks like we may have a bridge just down the corner here. Gonna want to check that out. Yeah, it definitely looks like we've got a bridge there, so I'll have to redo that one. But the capacitor down here is in place. That resistor, the reset resistor line is nice. Yeah, okay. So let's touch up that MCU corner here. Let's get the soldering out. Pull up all the solder in that edge. And let's give it just a touch fresh stuff. Oh no, that's bridged again. Okay. Let's check that again. Yeah, that's much better. There's no bridge there now. Let's check on the other sides. Yep. Yep. And yeah, that looks great. Okay. Let's give it a final wipe down. Both sides. There's our completed board. Let's figure out how to zoom you out a bit so you can see the absolute mess that I've got going here. And let's figure out how to get that into our board. So I'm guessing, I mean obviously it needs to go in here, but I'm guessing I kind of want that to be flush up against the board as much as possible. I still will need a bit of height for the wires to go in here, so I might actually solder those on first, which will give us a guide on how much height we can get out of this. And then once we know that, we should be good to, yeah, put some pins in.